Greg Inglis is truly a rugby league legend. He represented Australia, Queensland in the Origin Arena, and played in 5 grand finals, winning 3 of them. He was a beast of a player and was recently inducted into the NRL Hall of Fame. This is the story of Greg Inglis. Greg Inglis was born on the 15th of January 1987 in Kempsey, New South Wales. He played junior footy for the Barrowville Tigers. While he was a teenager, he made his way into the Melbourne Storm system, and when he was in year 11, at Brisbane's Wavell State High School, he played in the Australian Schoolboys in 2004. In 2005, Inglis played his first game for Melbourne in the pre-season trial match, and made his official debut in round 6, playing on the wing and even scoring a try in the game. In round 10, he would start at fullback for the first time, and scored a try in the game as well. Throughout his debut year, he swapped between centre, fullback, wing, and playing off the bench, and even helped the Storm into the finals, playing at fullback in the semi-finals, losing to the Cowboys 16-24. He played 13 first grade games this year, scoring 7 tries and kicking 1 goal. Moving to 2006, he found a regular spot in the first grade side. He would still swap positions between centre, fullback, and the wing. In the middle of the season, he even was picked to make his debut for the Queensland Maroons in the Origin Arena, playing in the first game of the series. Queensland would lose the game, but Inglis had a great start to his Origin career, playing on the wing, scoring 2 tries. In round 13 of the season, the Storm would beat the Roosters 12-16, but Inglis would suffer a back injury and kept him away from playing for roughly 2 months. Around this time, he would also sign a deal with the Storm, keeping him there for a further 4 years, with the contract being worth $2 million, which made him the highest paid teenager in rugby league. Once he returned to the field in round 21, he had a solid rest of the season as the Storm went on to play in the grand final. However, the Storm would lose to the Broncos 8-15. He played 19 games this season, scoring 18 tries and kicking 2 goals. At the end of the year, he was picked to play for Australia in the Tri-Nations tournament. He played on the wing and helped Australia win the tournament. In 2007, Inglis made a move to the 5'8" position, mainly playing there throughout the season. He was picked to make a return to the Origin Arena and played in all 3 games as Queensland won the series. He had another solid year and helped Melbourne to another grand final. This time, they won the game, beating Manly 34-8, giving him his first premiership win. He even received the Clive Churchill medal as man of the match from the game. He played 20 games this season for the Storm, scoring 9 tries. At the end of the season, he played for Australia again, this time in a test match versus New Zealand, playing on the wing as Australia won the game 58-0. He would start 2008 off strong, playing as 5'8", also playing for Australia in the middle of the year and in all 3 State of Origin games, this time playing at centre. The Storm once again made their way to the grand final and played against Manly again, only this time they lost to men 40-0. Inglis would end the year playing for Australia in the World Cup at the centre position. He played 22 games this season, scoring 17 tries and kicking 1 field goal. He also received the Dalian medal for the 5'8" of the year. 2009 would start as normal, but in round 3, he would move from 5'8" to centre and played here for the entire season. He once again played for Australia and Queensland in all 3 games of the Origin series. The Storm would go on to make the grand final for the 3rd year in a row, and were up against Parramatta. They won the game 23-16, with Inglis slotting a field goal in the game, giving him his 2nd premiership win. He played 23 games this season, scoring 16 tries and kicking 2 goals. He ended the year playing for Australia in the 4 Nations and received a prestigious Golden Boot Award as Rugby League's International Player of the Year. 2010 would see Inglis continue in the centre position throughout the season. He played in the Anzac Test match in the middle of the season and played for Queensland again, playing in all 3 Origin games. While the Storm did play well throughout the year, they received 0 premiership points due to salary cap breaches, causing them to come last in the competition. Inglis played 20 games this season, scoring 10 tries and kicking 5 goals. At the end of the year, he was forced to look for a new home due to the salary cap breaches. There was rumours about him joining the Broncos or the Bunnies, but apparently there were contract issues within the NRL, so Inglis would look elsewhere. He was looking at AFL clubs, such as St Kilda and Essendon. Apparently, Inglis was only a few hours away from signing with Essendon. However, on the 24th of December, it officially was announced that he signed with the Bunnies for 3 seasons. In 2011, he made his debut for the Bunnies in round 1 and played most of the year in the centre position. While the Bunnies didn't have as much luck as the Storm, he still played well and played for Australia and for Queensland in 2 Origin games. In his first season for the Rabbitohs, he played 18 games, scoring 8 tries. In 2012, he finally would play for the Indigenous All-Stars. He was picked to play for them for the past few years, but had to pull out due to injuries. He would continue to have a great season with the Bunnies. He also played for Australia and Queensland in all 3 Origin games. The Bunnies finished 3rd on the ladder and made it all the way to the preliminary final, just to lose to the Bulldogs, 8-32. He played 22 games this season, mostly from the fullback position, scoring 12 tries. In 2013, it was another typical season for Inglis. He started in the Indigenous All-Stars, then played for Australia and Queensland in all 3 Origin games. Again, the Bunnies would make it to the finals again, but would be eliminated in the preliminary final, falling 1 game short of the grand final, to Manly, with the score being 30-22. He played 20 games this year from fullback, scoring 15 tries. And at the end of the year, he played for Australia in the World Cup, swapping between centre and fullback, scoring 2 tries in the tournament. He would also receive the Dally M Fullback of the Year award. 2014 was another steady season for Inglis, playing for Australia and all 3 Origin games for Queensland, as normal. The Bunnies were going to make the finals, making it all the way to the grand final, beating the Bulldogs 30-6, scoring the final try in the game, giving him his 3rd premiership win. He played 24 games this year, scoring 13 tries. He also ended the year playing in the 4 Nations for Australia. It was a very similar year in 2015 for Inglis, playing in the Indigenous All-Stars, all 3 Origin games, and the Anzac Test match for Australia. However, for the Bunnies, he was appointed captain for the team. Throughout the year, there was also speculation of him going to play Rugby Sevens, and he was even offered a contract to play for the French Rugby Union team, the Stade Toulouse, with the contract being worth $1.5 million a year. However, he just stayed with the Bunnies, and the Bunnies would make the finals this year, but lost to the Sharks 12-28. He played 20 games this year from the fullback position, scoring 8 tries. In 2016, it was another great season for Inglis, playing in his regular representative games. Throughout the year at the Bunnies, he started at fullback, then moved to the centres, then 5'8", and then back to fullback for the last few rounds of the season. He played 20 games for the Bunnies, scoring 4 tries. He went on to play for Australia in the Prime Minister's 13 and the 4 Nations at the end of the year. In 2017, things seemed to be heading on the same track as they did for every other year. He started by playing in the Indigenous All-Stars. However, while playing in round 1 of the regular season, he suffered an ACL injury, causing him to miss the entire season. He scored 1 try in the 1 game that he played. In 2018, with Inglis recovered and ready to go, he started the season in the centre position and had another solid year, playing his way back into the Queensland side for 2 games of the Origin series. He played in the finals as well, where the Bunnies lost to the Roosters in the preliminary final, 12-4. He played 19 games this year, scoring 10 tries, playing out of the centre position. After the footy season, he would be charged with drink driving while he was out near Lithgow. He was due to captain Australia, but because of the charges, this was stripped from him, and he was suspended from 2 games, making him not available to represent the country at all. He was later given an 18-month good behaviour bond. In 2019, he only played 2 games for the season, and he would announce his retirement from the NRL on the 15th of April. However, in 2020, Inglis announced he would be coming out of retirement to play in the Super League, signing a 1-year deal with the Warrington Wolves. Then in 2021, after only just 3 games for the Wolves, he would suffer a serious hamstring tear, and he would mutually agree with the club to terminate his contract. He did, however, stay with the club to help mentor for the rest of the year. Inglis played a total of 267 first grade games, scoring 151 tries. He played 32 games for Queensland and 39 games for Australia. Inglis was an exceptional player, winning 3 premierships, and he was just recently announced in the NRL Hall of Fame. Truly a legend of the sport, and will always have a place in the history books.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I post videos like this twice a week, and if you want to watch another one, click the video on screen.